Gentlemen, the President of the United States.
Hello, Georgia. I'm really thrilled to be talking with you today. There are a lot of people on this call, and I like that, and you like that. We have a lot of spirit. Never been so much spirit, even beyond 2016. But we're thinking about and talking about the critical decision Americans will make on November 3rd and the path forward to really having our country be better than ever before, greater than ever before. There's never been a bigger difference between two candidates and two parties. Our movement is about building up America and protecting our prosperity. You look at the stock market, it's setting almost record highs again, which is amazing, and NASDAQ is actually at its all-time high. It's been setting records on a daily basis, our security and our liberty. But the radical Democrats want to burn it all down, tear it all down. If Joe Biden gets in, the far-left Democrats have total control over him, total control. He's a puppet, and they will get into power, and they'll destroy our country. You see what's happening all over. You see what's happening in Seattle, and you see what's happening in Portland. They'll have that all over the country. They won't have the law and order that we have to have. The Democrats are consumed with hatred for our history, for our heritage and our Constitution, our values, our police, our traditional values, our businesses, and most of all, the hatred for anyone who rejects their politically insane ideas, their dogma, but their ideas. They can't stand it. But our movement is based on love of our country and our communities, our fellow citizens, and our American flag. We're fighting to save America, and with your help, we will win, and it will indeed be greater than ever before. It was better. We had the greatest economy in the history of the world until the China virus hit. I want to just thank some of the incredible Republicans who are on the line now and fighting right by our side. Senator David Perdue, an incredible senator, totally respected in Washington. He's really an idol to many. He's a fantastic man, David Perdue. He's going to be running, and his opponent is not much. Super liberal, going to be totally controlled by Schumer. David Perdue is just a highly respected man. He gets what he wants. He's brought so much back to Georgia, including aid for farmers when we had the bad weather hits. Governor Brian Kemp, another great friend of mine. He's been a really strong leader, and he's been through so much opposition with somebody that refused to believe that he sort of had a little bit what I had, refused to accept the fact that she was fairly easily defeated. He's been really a fantastic champion for your state. He loves Georgia. He loves the people of Georgia, and it's great to have him on the call. Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan, somebody that's been really a big help to Brian and to everybody, and it's great to have him on the call. And two great candidates for Congress, a friend of mine, Karen Handel, who is somebody that was in. She is missed dearly in Congress, and she's going to get back. We need her so much for the Second Amendment, for life, for so many different things, including our military. And the same goes to Rich McCormick, who is just a winner and a warrior. And we need Karen and we need Rich back. We have to get Karen back and Rich. They both have my total and complete endorsement. They're strong on Second Amendment. They're strong on our military. They're strong on reducing taxes and regulations, all of the things that MAGA stands for, that we stand for, and most of the people on this call stand for. So Karen and Rich, we have to get them back, and we'll be helping them a lot. No administration has ever done so much in the first 3.5 years as the Trump administration. We achieved record low unemployment for African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, women, young people, people with a diploma, without a diploma, with high school, without high school, workers at all levels of education. Georgia unemployment was the lowest in its history, and last year it was the most successful economy in the history of Georgia. That's not bad, and we're getting it back to right where it was. We're going to be back very soon, too. Next year is going to be an incredible year. When the China virus invaded our country, we had no choice but to shut down our economy. And we saved millions of lives by doing so. We had to shut it down. We had no choice. We had the greatest economy ever. We had to shut it down. But we did the right thing, and we saved millions of lives. Now we're reopening, and we've already gained 7.5 million jobs, 7.5 million jobs. That's a new record. Never happened before, that number. New business applications have doubled. Retail sales have been through the roof. Car sales and car production, just announced yesterday, is massive, far greater than anybody would have thought even possible at this stage under a pandemic. Under my administration, China will also be held fully accountable for unleashing the China virus upon the world. That's what happened. They could have stopped it. They stopped it going into China, but they didn't stop it going to the U.S. or Europe or all of the other places, 188 countries around the world. Many countries that were once held up as models for fighting the virus are now experiencing rising caseloads, including Germany, Australia, Japan, Israel, and France, which proves that the blanket shutdowns are not long-term solutions. These were countries that were being looked up to, and now they're being hit, and they're being hit pretty hard in some cases. 2 vaccine candidates are in the final phases of clinical trials, which is at a record. This could take years, and we did it in a matter of months. And we will have that vaccine. We expect to have the vaccine itself available before the end of the year, as I said, and maybe long before. I hope it's going to be long before and certainly far ahead of schedule. We've also cut mountains of red tape to speed the development of hundreds of new therapeutics and treatments and all sorts of things that nobody thought possible this quickly. And through the Paycheck Protection Program, we provided more than $14 billion, over 156,000 small businesses in your state, meaning you have a big state. Think of that. 156,000 small businesses in your state, saving 1.5 million Georgia jobs. We're restoring law and order to Democrat-run cities like, I hate to say it, like Atlanta, because we love Atlanta. It's a great place. It's a great city, but they've had a lot of problems with the crime. Nearly 350 people have been shot this year, and murder has increased by 34%. An 8-year-old girl was gunned down in cold blood after local politicians surrendered to the anarchist mob and the agitators, anarchists. That's exactly what they are. And we're surging federal law enforcement into the communities to help solve the violent crime problem you have in Atlanta and other cities all throughout the country. We're starting a process, and this has to do with drugs. It has to do with this basic good policing, and we're putting criminals behind bars, many, many criminals behind bars. By contrast, Joe Biden is flooding our neighborhoods with dangerous criminals by abolishing cash bail. Biden also supports sanctuary cities, which are a disaster. In Atlanta last year, ICE arrested over 12,000 criminal aliens charged or convicted with heinous crimes like rape and murder. Biden would let local politicians set them free, as is happening in Philadelphia and many other places. The FBI has opened 300 domestic terror investigations as a result of the left-wing riots. You've been seeing these riots. They're out of control and so easy to solve. We sent in the National Guard into Minneapolis. And by the way, Atlanta, if you have any problems, we'll have that National Guard there so fast you won't even believe it. We're also defending our national monuments. Anyone who defaces our statues or any of our monuments, automatically it's 10 years in prison. And once we announced that a couple of months ago, incredibly and amazingly, it stopped happening. They weren't knocking down any of our statues. And we have numerous people in jail right now going to have long prison sentences. I recently signed 4 groundbreaking executive orders to bring down the cost of prescription drugs. Drug prices had skyrocketed more than 35% under the last administration. They went way up. And I'm the first president to lower drug prices in 51 years. First president in 51 years, and prices will soon be dropping like a rock. They'll be dropping 50% and more, because for decades America was forced to pay much higher prices for drugs, for prescription drugs, than other nations. We subsidized socialist countries, and we funded R&D for literally for the entire world, and we paid the price. But now that global freeloading is over, and my orders require Medicare to purchase drugs at the exact same price as other countries pay, we are finally allowing the safe importation of low-cost prescription drugs from Canada and other countries. So if other countries sell them for less, we buy them from the other countries and avoid all of the problems of the crazy drug laws that have cost so much. We are, most importantly, though, when they sell, it's called favored nations. We put in a favored nations, and I just signed it, a favored nations clause. So if Germany or UK or any place, European Union, anyone gets the drugs for less, we get them for the same price. We may reduce prices by 50, 60, 70% or more. We also passed right to try for those people that are very ill, terminally ill. Well, we have great drugs possibly, but they haven't been approved in final stages by the FDA. You have a right to try now, which for 40 years they've been trying to get it, more than that. And to defend Georgia farmers and ranchers, we officially replaced the disaster known as NAFTA with a brand new USMCA, opening incredible new opportunities for Georgia agriculture, textiles, and manufacturing of all kinds. To increase Georgia exports even further, I've asked Congress for more than $90 million to deepen the Port of Savannah. So the Port of Savannah, after working on it for so many years, we're getting it done. We'll be getting it done very quickly. When China targeted our farmers, I provided $28 billion in relief, all paid for with tariffs that I charged China, so compliments of China. But they targeted the farmers and ranchers, $28 billion over a 2-year period. I got the money and I gave it back to the farmers. Nobody else would do that. No other president would do that. We've invested more than $2.5 trillion in our great military, including major contracts to build the F-35 Lightning in Marietta. We're doing an F-35 Lightning. It's fantastic. We now have 277 miles of wall completed, and we'll have up to 500. In fact, we'll probably go a little bit over 500 miles shortly after the end of the year. We had total opposition from the Democrats, but it's working, and we're setting record numbers of people coming across the border, record in a positive sense. It's very hard, and we have, with all of those miles, people don't get through the wall. You can't. We passed Veterans' Choice and Veterans' Accountability for the VA, and we fired more than 8,000 employees who were not giving our vets the care and the respect that they deserve. They were treating our vets badly. You couldn't get rid of the people that were treating them badly. I passed Veterans Accountability. You're accountable to our veterans. And now the VA has a 91% approval rating from our veterans, the highest rate we've ever had. And remember, Veterans' Choice, for 50 years they've been trying to get it, and I got it. So when you have to wait 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 1 week or 5 days or a long period of time, which unfortunately was happening, you go out, you get a private doctor, you get fixed, we pay the bill, and number one, we take care of our vets, and number two, it actually saves us money. And again, they've been trying to get Veterans' Choice and Veterans Accountability for many, many decades, and they were unable. I got it done. I got them both signed. They're done. They're in effect, and we're very proud of them. We're working with governors to safely reopen our school in the fall. We want to get our schools open. A lot of Democrat governors and Democrat mayors don't want to do it because they think it'll be good for the election on November 3rd, where you got to get out and vote. But I'm also fighting for school choice. Every parent should be able to send their child to the public, private, charter, religious, or independent school of their choice. We passed the largest package of tax cuts and regulation cuts in American history, saving the average family of four substantially over $5,000 a year. And you see that in your paycheck. You see that with what's happening. We've saved a lot of money. And you also have $2 gasoline, which nobody thought would happen. It's actually going to be below that and has been below that. We ended the war on American energy. We're now a net exporter of energy for the first time. And again, that gasoline price we have millions of jobs. We're getting a great deal on gasoline for your cars so you can travel around, and it's made a massive difference. we are energy independent. The first time ever, we're energy independent, so we don't have to go to the faraway lands and do things that we certainly would prefer not doing. We'll have appointed close to 300 federal judges by the end of my first term, including 2 great Supreme Court justices. So we'll have 300 judges, could even be a little bit more than that by the end of the first term. That's a record. Hasn't been done before, including 2 great Supreme Court justices, and you'll see that in the court system. These are great judges, talented judges, conservative judges, judges that do it the right way. Joe Biden has signed a joint manifesto. It's a manifesto, literally, with Bernie Sanders and the radical left, which means that Biden is now running as the most extreme left-wing candidate in history. He's a left-wing candidate. And he's not calling the shots. They're calling all the shots. They're telling him what to do. You know that. All you have to do is watch him, and you'll see that. Biden has vowed to defund the police and to take away your guns. Joe Biden, under him, you're going to have a real problem with your Second Amendment. I protected your Second Amendment. Nothing's happening to it. Nothing whatsoever has happened to it, except that it's been totally protected. In Joe Biden's America, you and your family will not be safe. Maybe that's the most important thing I can say, because ultimately it's about your safety. But in his America, if he were ever president, and I hope that's not going to happen for the good of our country, you and your family will not be safe. Biden supported every globalist attack on the American worker, NAFTA, TPP, the horrible Korea deal, and China's entry in the WTO. That's the World Trade Organization. China lost nearly 10,000 factories. We lost to China 10,000 factories while Biden was vice president, and that includes what left for Mexico. We have so many businesses moved to Mexico, but under our new great trade bill with Mexico and Canada, they'll all start coming back. You watch what's going to happen. It's already happening. Biden voted for the war in Iraq, and he voted for mass amnesty of millions and millions of illegal immigrants. Now Biden supports raising your taxes by many times in some cases. We're talking about massive tax increases, massive regulation increases, packing the courts with radical far-left judges, and destroying your 401ks and your stocks. If you have stocks, you can forget about it, because your 401ks and stocks will be literally destroyed. You're going to have open borders, and you're going to have ripping down the wall. They want to rip down the wall so people just flood in indiscriminately into our country. That's not what we want. And the ones that really like what I'm saying are great Hispanic American people that love our country, and they love what we're doing on the border. They understand the border better than anybody, and they don't want that to happen. They don't want people taking their jobs, and they don't want people taking their homes and their safety. So to the many Hispanic Americans on the line, you know it better than anybody else. So Biden, if you look, and really Biden, Sanders, AOC plus 3, these are the real leaders. Nancy Pelosi, if you can believe that. They want to abolish borders, stop all deportations. This is in their manifesto. End prosecution of illegal border crosses. In other words, they come in illegally and you don't prosecute. They want to support horrible sanctuary cities, which protect some very bad people, incentivize illegal alien child smuggling, provide taxpayer-funded lawyers for illegal aliens so everybody gets a lawyer, provide government health care for illegal aliens, free community college for illegal aliens, end all travel bans, including from jihadist regions. I got the travel ban approved. Everybody said it would never happen. I got it approved. They want to grant mass amnesty, end cash bail, if you can believe that, releasing dangerous criminals onto the streets, increase refugee admissions by 700%. So increase refugee admissions by 7. We've never had anything like this in the country. Incentivize prison closures so that they close your prisons and then provide free federal housing for former inmates. This is things that Bernie Sanders never dreamed about, and he's got them in the agreement made with Biden. Mandate net zero carbon emissions for homes, offices, and all new buildings. Mandate zero carbon emissions from power plants. Now, when you do that, your electrical costs will go literally through the roof. They want to end school choice, abolish charter schools, abolish suburbs. What we're doing is we got rid of low-income housing in the suburbs. People's dream was being ripped from them. And now if you live in the suburbs, you don't have to worry about that. You have a beautiful home. You fought like crazy to get into the suburbs. And by the way, African American, Hispanic American, Asian American have a big percentage of the housing that was so badly affected in the suburbs. And their house values would go down and the crime would go up. But tremendous African American population, Asian American population, Hispanic American population in the suburbs. So with your help, it's going to be something very special. We're getting very good poll numbers, the real polls, not the fake polls that the papers put out, just like they did the last time. We were in Texas recently. It's been unbelievable, the response. We have law enforcement endorsements. It was an incredible trip, and the same thing with Florida. And with Georgia, I've done so much for Georgia. Again, you had the best economy you've ever had in the history of the state and the history of our country. And a few of the things just in ending, we will unleash the full power of the American economy. We created an unprecedented economic miracle once, and now we're doing it again. And already you see the numbers coming back very quickly. We'll shut down illegal immigration and we'll finish the wall. But if you're a farmer, you'll be able to get the same people that you've had for many years. We'll shut it down, but the farmers will be allowed to have those same people come in. We're not going to otherwise you'd make it very tough on the farmers, and we've made it very easy on the farmers. We'll be tough on China, demanding accountability and fair trade. We'll bring medical manufacturing and critical supply chains back to America, which I've been fighting for and succeeding in, but we've never ever done the things that I'm doing. We're going to bring them back to our country. We'll root out anti-American bias in our public schools and colleges. We will bring big tech's assault. As you know, we have big tech is being assaulted by so many, both in terms of China assaulting and stealing and big tech's assaulting of us. Because big tech, what they're doing is assaulting free speech. At the same time, we're being assaulted because they're stealing. China is stealing our companies and our secrets, so it's a double whammy. But we are going to end big tech's assault on free speech. At the same time, we're not going to let China and other countries take our great secrets. It's sort of an interesting combination. We'll defend your God-given rights to bear arms. Your Second Amendment will be totally secure. Your right to bear arms will be totally secure. Under Biden, they will end your Second Amendment. They will take away your guns, as sure as you're listening. We will support the heroes of law enforcement. We will defund sanctuary cities. We will create an immigration system based on merit so people come in and they'll love our country and they'll want to work hard and make it successful. And we're bringing our troops back, as you know, from Afghanistan and all these endless faraway places, endless wars. And that's happening rapidly, Afghanistan, Iraq, and Syria. We've done a great job on that, but we're not the policemen of the world. We'll drain the Washington swamp, and we will make America greater than ever before. So I just want to tell you, next year is going to be an incredible year for our country. Unless somebody raise taxes like the other side wants to do, and they want to raise them viciously and violently, next year will be one of the greatest years we've ever had. We have more regulation cutting to do. We have more tax cutting to do. I'll always fight for the people of Georgia, just like I've been doing for 3.5 years, and that's why you're doing so well. I've never let you down, and I never will. So get out and vote on November 3rd. So important. Just get out and vote. It's big stuff. There's never been a more important vote. This is the equivalent or greater to what happened in 2016. I want to thank you for joining this call. So many people. I want to thank you all, and God bless America. God bless you all. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, the event has ended. If you'd like to support the president to make America great again, press 1 now to let him know he can count on your support. The liberal media is a 24-hour attack dog for the socialist working to defeat the president. If he can count on you to donate just a few dollars to help get the truth to the American people, press 2 now. The silent majority needs to speak up on Election Day. Join our team now as a Trump team leader by pressing 3 to help get our message out to your neighbors. Finally, the president needs everyone on this call to text Trump to 88022. Thank you, and God bless America.